Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and today we're going to be going over some new information that was released about Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remaster. This information is coming out of Tokyo Game Show, and it's actually a whole trailer that has also been voiced in English, going over all the new content that both of these games are going to have. Not gonna lie, I didn't really know what to expect when it comes to new content. Square Enix has a pretty big track record of re-releasing games with as much content as the original or close to. There's been a lot of, controversy over Tactics not having War of the Lions content and the Pixel remasters not having any of their additional content, but focusing on rebalances of the original. But Dragon Quest really hasn't been doing that. With Dragon Quest 3, we saw tons of new story scenes, a new vocation, revamped monster arena, and there's just tons of rebalancing, elements of stat growth difficulty. Seriously, look at the list of things as I scroll through it on the screen. These were all the new things in Dragon Quest 3, and some of them are just whole new scenes that expand the story. So Dragon Quest 1 and 2, I expected some of that, but with a full trailer of new content, we have a better idea of what to expect. So I'm going to go over the things in that trailer and provide my thoughts on them now. So the way the trailer was structured is it started with stuff that was exclusively new to Dragon Quest 1, then kind of moved into stuff that was new in both of them, and then moved into stuff that was exclusively new in Dragon Quest 2. But for this video, I'm just going to say what's new in Dragon Quest 1 and then what's new in Dragon Quest 2. So for Dragon Quest 1, the trailer starts with a few really vague and simple things. New characters, new dungeons, and an expanded story. That's in line with some of the stuff we saw with Dragon Quest 3, so none of it's really a surprise. Then they go into things that are either being pulled from other Dragon Quest games or things that are fundamentally impacting the way Dragon Quest 1 was initially done. For example, in the original Dragon Quest 1, battles are 1v1, but in the new one, they will be 1v however many enemies you're up against. So battles should be a little bit more engaging. I think they understand that a turn-based RPG where you only fight one enemy at a time just isn't really something that will sell people as much on the Dragon Quest 1 part of this combo deal. So it's going to be interesting to see how they actually do the battles and all the new things. But that's actually what they lead into next. There's actually a feature in Dragon Quest 2 called Sigils, which were originally just used for the story, but now they're going to be in Dragon Quest 1, and they're actually going to empower the hero with upgraded spells and skills. So these upgraded things will obviously be what we're using to defeat the enemies. Another new thing that's being added is scrolls, and these will also allow you to teach the hero new skills. So it just seems like they're going to be giving you a whole lot more to work with in the hero's arsenal to deal with the multitude of enemies that you will now be up against. And the only other really new thing that they're adding to Dragon Quest 1 is mini-medals. Mini-medals are collectibles in many of the Dragon Quest games, and they're used to basically get a bunch of items. You collect them, you go to a place, and then when you've collected enough of them, you get a reward. It's just a good way to expand the world, add exploration, and you can get some pretty OP rewards with mini-medals early on if you're willing to go out of your way and, collect absolutely all of them. I know Dragon Quest 3 made things a lot easier after I got enough mini-medals in the early portion of the game. But that covers all of the content for Dragon Quest 1. Realistically, we need to see the new dungeons and expanded story more than anything else, but I'm excited because Dragon Quest 3 had that kind of stuff, and I thought it did great. Now, Dragon Quest 2 is really where they are putting most of their marbles. A lot of the things I mentioned from the Dragon Quest 1 changes are here, or, well, at least some of them. Sigils, like I said, are part of the story in Dragon Quest 2, but they were never part of your character progression. Just like with Dragon Quest 1, they are going to upgrade spells and skills, and there will also be scrolls in Dragon Quest 2 as well to teach individual party members certain skills. Now, there's also going to be a brand new party member, the Princess of Kennek. She is a character from the original Dragon Quest 2, and I won't spoil why, but it makes sense that she joins the party, which she did not do in the original version. Mini-medals are also going to be added to Dragon Quest 2. They were not in the original 1 or 2. And there's a new minigame called the Tombola, which is just like a lottery wheel where you get different colored orbs that represent different rewards. So as you go throughout the world and collect tickets, you can spin the Tombola and get even more pieces of equipment or abilities to travel around, chimera wings, whatever. You can get a bunch of different items that should help you on your adventures. The big thing with Dragon Quest 2 is that they are adding a whole new portion of the world. You're actually going to be able to take your ship, and push it underwater, give it its own air bubble, and explore the entire ocean floor. There's new dungeons, new towns, new enemies, new stories, new bosses, and a new collection feature called Memories of the World, where you're basically trying to collect, well, just that, memories of the world, and return them to their originating location. So they're adding a whole giant portion of a game, just that outright was never there in the previous version. And this is the stuff I kind of like to see. You know, I'm not someone who really cares that much for things like, you know, not having War of the Alliance content and tactics, or not having some of the post-game in the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, but it is great to see the Dragon Quest team going so much out of their way to do so much for these games if they're going to go through all the effort of remaking them. It just, I don't know, I appreciate it. It's always cool to see them go, hey, we can do a whole lot more with this than we did the last time. And it gives people a better reason to buy it. It better incentivizes it. And I'm really looking forward to it because I've not played Dragon Quest 1 and 2. My Dragon Quest adventures I had to make a whole video about prior to this information coming out. And now I'm getting more and more excited, especially with the team just putting so much effort into this. I saw a comment on a YouTube video that said it feels like Square and Enix are still different companies because we have a lot of those criticisms of the Final Fantasy remasters, but the Enix game remasters and remakes are getting a ton of love. So really curious to see how this will continue. We know Dragon Quest VII is also getting some brand new advancements, so I'll be sure to keep my eyes on Dragon Quest VII Reimagined as well. But that's going to be a wrap for this video. Let me know what you think of the additions being made to Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake. Put it in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Square Enix news as a whole. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.